Some footballers are born to play for Real Madrid. They describe that day as if they fell asleep on a plane and were dreaming. Because for people like him, trying something and failing doesn't mean losing. For them, losing is not having the courage to try again. Mbappe can talk about the Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi debate with you for at least an hour. For Mbappe, Ronaldo means almost everything. According to him, Ronaldo is untouchable. Messi always has something to say, and he is faced with a stubborn character who never leaves him unanswered. This story seems so familiar to the audience that Cristiano's comment broke a record with around 5 million likes, declaring the Portuguese player as Mbappe's unofficial successor. We will watch an unofficial handover ceremony. Let's see if Mbappe can finally surpass his idol throughout his career. Will the student finally surpass the master? For us football fans, the joy of football is as essential as eating or sleeping. But if you can't enjoy football enough due to the heat, air conditioning is also a basic need. Presented by Grey Air Conditioning. In December 2012, Wilfred Mbappe receives a call from Real Madrid. The Spanish giant, which has been following Wilfred's son Kylian for a while, invites him to a trial training at Valdebebas. Coincidentally, Kylian would celebrate his 14th birthday a few days later, and his father Wilfred thought a short trip to Madrid would be a fitting birthday gift. The 14-year-old Kylian, who got into Zinedine Zidane's car and toured the club facilities with his father, was mesmerized and described that day as if he had fallen asleep on a plane and was dreaming. One of the most special surprises of his 14th birthday was undoubtedly meeting his idol Cristiano Ronaldo and taking a photo with him. Wilfred says about his son, "My son was always a Real Madrid fan and could spend hours watching videos of his idol Cristiano Ronaldo online." At that time, during their first meeting, Cristiano was literally flying, as if he had found a shortcut to scoring goals, and it was almost impossible not to be inspired by him, especially for Kylian Mbappe, who was just starting his football career. Since those days, Kylian didn't just see Cristiano as an idol, but followed in his footsteps. They had many common points. For instance, both had difficult childhoods. Cristiano grew up on the island of Madeira, about 1,000 kilometers from Lisbon, the capital of Portugal. He and his 3 siblings grew up in poverty. His father worked as a kit man at a local football club, and his mother did cleaning work at a hospital. Kylian's family was financially better off than Cristiano's, but his childhood was also spent in Bondy, one of the rough areas of France. It was a place where immigrants lived together, and crime was rampant. Wilfred ensured that his son didn't become one of those street thugs by keeping a close eye on him and ensuring that all his free time was spent playing football, as Wilfred was also a coach. Both started playing football at a young age, and it was clear from an early age that they would become superstars. They were both stubborn characters who constantly sought new challenges and never gave up. Those who remember Cristiano's early days at Manchester know that the Portuguese loved to dance with the ball and looked for someone to dribble past on the field. After transferring to Madrid and competing with Lionel Messi, he decided that he needed to refine his game and became a much more goal-oriented player. He tried to dribble only in the final third of the pitch and thought it was unnecessary to waste energy otherwise. In short, if there wasn't a goal at stake, nothing else in the game mattered to Ronaldo. This mindset is why he is called the Terminator. Kylian, on the other hand, realized the necessity of this transformation much earlier than Ronaldo, probably because he had been following this transformation from afar. Unlike the Portuguese, who started his career as a classic right winger, young Kylian, who played for Monaco, was a secondary forward and much closer to the goal, partnering with Radamel Falcao. Mbappe made his professional debut at 16 and scored his first goal at 17, becoming the youngest player in the club's history in both categories. In 2016, he won the UEFA European Under-19 Championship with the French U19 team. He donned the national team jersey at 18, and before turning 20, he became the fastest player to reach 10 goals in the Champions League, while Ronaldo achieved the same at 23. This young man seemed poised to break Cristiano's goal records. However, what made the Portuguese special was his consistency. It is not always easy to predict a footballer's future by looking at his performance in his 20s. For instance, Ricardo Quaresma, from the same generation and academy as Cristiano, was considered by many to be more talented. However, he never learned to utilize his talent efficiently. Yes, Quaresma still had a decent career, but compared to his talent and expectations, the result was somewhat disappointing. His discipline problems, Mario Götze's injury, Adriano's alcohol problem, and Balotelli being Balotelli filled the dusty shelves of football history with countless potential superstars who never fulfilled their promise. It was never about a lack of talent. They either never reached the level they envisioned or couldn't maintain it. Cristiano, on the other hand, lived every day of his life as if he would never stop playing football and approached every match as if it was his last. If Kylian were to follow him, this was the toughest challenge he had to overcome, to continue relentlessly without ever resting, getting injured, tired, or bored. Perhaps being a superstar was in their destiny. Cristiano achieved 3 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League, and 1 Ballon d'Or during his 6 years at Manchester. In July 2009, the €94 million Real Madrid paid United for his transfer was a record fee for a 24-year-old player. Mbappé, on the other hand, was in a hurry. After just 1 year in Monaco's first team, he moved to Paris in the summer of 2017 with a purchase option of €180 million, a record fee for a 20-year-old player. A year later, he won the World Cup with the French national team in Russia. That year, he also had the chance to share the same field with his idol for the first time in the Champions League round of 16. Real Madrid defeated Kylian's team in both matches, and Cristiano finished the tie with 3 goals and 1 assist, effectively eliminating the French team. Witnessing such a performance up close might have deeply influenced Mbappé, as the Frenchman had become a Ronaldo fan by then. Former PSG teammate Abdou Diallo said about Mbappé, "Kylian can talk with you for at least an hour about the Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi debate. For Mbappé, Ronaldo means almost everything. According to him, Ronaldo is untouchable." Mbappé chose the number 7 jersey in Paris after switching from number 29. Although he never openly explained the reason for this choice, it is not hard to guess. In his first season with PSG, he played on the right wing, but now he played much closer to the left flank, just like his idol. As one of the pioneers of the inverted winger trend, Cristiano's position change allowed him to use his stronger foot more and increase his goal tally. That season, Mbappé won his first league top scorer title with 33 goals in 29 league matches, and he did not relinquish this title in the following 5 seasons. Casemiro, who played over 100 matches with Cristiano in both Real Madrid and Manchester United, said, "Mbappé reminds me of Cristiano. He is a monster. He can smell goals, just like Cristiano. Even if he wasn't playing well, you could be sure he would score." Mbappé had mastered many of Cristiano's signature moves, like the chop turn, but perhaps his biggest advantage was his unmatched speed, which allowed him to dominate the game without needing to become a complete offensive weapon like the Portuguese. With his exceptional explosiveness in open space and increasing ability to solve problems in tight spaces, Mbappé became unstoppable. Of course, he also sharpened his finishing skills and added some unique moves to his repertoire. The young man who won the World Cup at 20 was growing and maturing. Like his idol, he learned the most from his defeats. When he lost his first Champions League final in August 2020, he was the one to console his teammates, especially Neymar, who was in tears, despite being proud and stubborn. Missing a penalty in the round of 16 against Switzerland in his first European Championship was one of the breaking points of his football career. He had always been a bit hesitant about penalties, usually letting Neymar take them at PSG. However, after missing such a crucial penalty, he was ready for a new challenge, because, for people like him, trying something and failing doesn't mean losing. For them, losing is not having the courage to try again. From that day on, Mbappé took the responsibility of taking penalties for both his club and the national team. In the later stages of his career, Kylian also had the chance to play alongside Messi. He said, "I am inspired because it is now too late for me to have a career like Messi's. I guess I should have stayed in Monaco for that. I love Cristiano. I was a huge fan of his when I was a child. So, when you're a kid and a fan of someone, you can't see how good Messi is. But now I've grown up, and I enjoy Messi more. When you think he's done something extraordinary, he does something even better the next day. It is a pleasure to have him with us, because he brings a lot to us. Messi helps me a lot, because I know that my chance increases when he's in possession of the ball. In these sentences, it was clear that Kylian had grown up and matured. Being aware of Messi's qualities didn't mean he had to forget about Cristiano. At the end of the 2022 World Cup, where he was the top scorer with 8 goals, Kylian had only one desire in mind: to become the best in the world. Having lost 2 consecutive Champions League finals to Bayern and Liverpool, the 25-year-old Kylian stated that his first and most important goal was to win the Champions League. This was probably one of the main reasons why the Frenchman didn't want to sign a new contract with PSG and refused the €300 million offered by the Saudi Arabian team Al Hilal. Just as the Portuguese said, "I love football, and I have enough talent to play in this league. I still want to break more records." Real Madrid is undoubtedly at the top of the list of clubs Kylian wants to play for. It is unknown whether Kylian will play in white next year or the year after, but the Ronaldo-Messi debate seems to have reached a new dimension for the spectators. Messi is no longer in Europe, and even though Ronaldo will continue his career in Saudi Arabia, Mbappé is determined to stay in Europe and compete at the highest level. For years, we have enjoyed the stories these two have written for us. We will now watch an unofficial handover ceremony. Let's see if Mbappé can finally surpass his idol throughout his career. Will the student finally surpass the master? For us football fans, the joy of football is as essential as eating or sleeping. But if you can't enjoy football enough due to the heat, air conditioning is also a basic need. Presented by Grey Air Conditioning.